John, I'm Ray. I'm the Director of Sales.
Pleasure to meet you.
Sorry, Director of Operations.
Nice to meet you.
Morning, John. I'm in
Morning.
HR.
I'm Lisa, IT support.
Good morning.
Appreciate you coming in. Sorry we don't have much time. We're interviewing 10 people today and you're number 7.
Not a problem.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I just recently graduated from Penn State University. Degree in Communication Arts and Sciences, had a major focus in interpersonal, group, and organizational communication, as well as a minor focus in HTML and CSS coding, basically bare bones of website building. So I'm good in both groups and on a technical front when it comes to the communication aspect realm.
Okay, so we're looking to hire a communication director. And what do you think you're going to be bringing to this job?
Well, as a director, I assume I would assume responsibilities as someone who would be a manager in previous work experience. I have managed people. In that regard, I have no problem with people directly underneath me, as well as being a communications director. I would assume I would deviate responsibilities from everything from social media, networking, to interorganizational communications, maybe sending out flyers, creating memos, just keeping everybody abreast on the day-to-day communication of the company.
Have you ever fired anyone?
I have not fired anyone, no.
Would you feel comfortable firing somebody?
Yes, that wouldn't be a problem.
Okay. Tell me what was your worst experience at your last job?
Worst experience in my last job?
Don't get that one a lot.
That's a good one.
You want to come back to that?
Yeah.
Talk about our time when.
Yeah, talk about team building in terms of how you would work in the team. What is your approach and your accountability and your dependability, that type of thing, as far as working in a team?
Well, understandably, like I said, I had some managerial duty with a group of 5 to 6 people that I worked with before, and team building was one of the big aspects of it. In that sense, I never put myself, even though I was the leader of 5 or 6 guys, I never made it obvious that they were underneath me per se. We would divvy up duties that included the hardest tasks, the easiest tasks, and we would switch through them. I would take some of the hardest ones, they'd take some of the easiest ones, and in that regard, I made them feel equals even though I was their superior, and as a result, they were always willing to work for me.
And what about the people that didn't pull their weight in the team? How did you handle that?
That was a lot tougher. Unfortunately, I would have to refer them. I would give them every chance, every opportunity. I would sit them down one-on-one. If that didn't work, I would sit them down with another colleague, my superior, one-on-one to try and motivate them somehow. If that still didn't work, then I would give them a referral to a superior to deal with them.
Okay.
What do you consider your weakness?
One of my weaknesses, probably my biggest weakness, is I am a people person. I do tend to enjoy when I get along with everybody, and I understand in a business setting that is just simply not feasible. However, I don't see it being a hindrance in my part because I understand the fact that I'm here to work and I'm not here to make friends.
Okay. So let me know about why we should hire you.
But I feel like I would make a very adept communications director. I have a lot of experience with people, both working for and people working for me. I'm young, obviously, so I am hip to the to the workings of social media, and I understand all the new social media accounts and how they're used and the best ways that a company might be able to utilize them for their own gain.
What do you see as the biggest challenge for you in the position that we're thinking of as a marketing director for, what do you do again?
YouTube.
For YouTube, for bringing our company onto YouTube.
Biggest challenge? That's a good one too.
for that one, I would suggest along the lines of the generation gap. If you get
Okay.
something like that.
Yeah, that's a good one, because
That's
you're on
very
one
good.
side of the generation gap. There's something about how you can bridge it and be effective and take advantage of that.
So what is going to be your communication philosophy? How are you going to make sure that we get our word out in this company? What is your ideas? What are your ideas?
Well, first and foremost would be spreadable media, pass it along every format, every which way that you can. But at the same time, it's one thing just to have a message and blanketly throw it at the wall per se. Wet noodles will stick. But I want to have a very innovative message as well, something that will really target the crowds for each specific way that we
Go to market.
yes, thank you. For each specific way we go to market, whether that means that we come up with a different message for each social networking site, like say Facebook, for example, might have a different message than Twitter, which only has 140 characters. You can't say as much. Maybe Snapchat, obviously you have pictures. You're not gonna talk about what your company can and do for something on a website or on an app that is not meant for that. So in that regard, I would like to develop a campaign where it reaches the audiences in multiple forms.
What would be some of those forms?
Well, like I said, social networking is the biggest one nowadays. Social networking is probably.
But I mean,
the
social
number one.
networking covers a lot of territory. What specific social networking?
In other words, Twitter,
Facebook.
YouTube.
What else?
Okay.
Snapchat, Instagram.
How are you familiar with all those, and you know how to do all those communications?
How would you measure the results, the outcome?
Mainly through views. For most of all of those, for views and likes for all of those major platforms, you can see how many people viewed it, how many people liked it, how many people are commenting on it. So that's like one statistic in which you can gauge the interest of your message or your product.
To some extent, we're dealing with the generation gap here, but it occurs to me that it runs both directions. We also have spent money in the past on billboards and things like that. Where do you think those things are appropriate?
For me, it's hard to say. I understand how they can be productive, but at the same time, in this day and age, I would see it as a counterproductive measure, simply because you can't gauge the interest. Yeah, somebody could drive down the highway, but they're not going to be able to pay attention too much to a billboard.
But you already mentioned counting views as a way to measure the effectiveness of an Instagram post. Isn't that very similar to counting the number of cars that pass a billboard on the highway?
Yeah, however, an Instagram post is something you can come back to. A billboard would be hard. Yes, you're going to see it, you might think about it. It may stay in your mind. However, for an Instagram post, you can save it, you can like it, you can comment on it, and you can always have that as a referral.
Can you track those separate from views?
Track what separately?
Conversions.
Yes, saving and liking and sharing and so on.
For some platforms you can, such as Snapchat, you can see if somebody saved or screenshotted the picture that you took. Facebook obviously has likes and comments, as well as Instagram.
Then those would be more effective than just views.
Yeah.
It'd be like noting how many people write down the phone number that's on a billboard.
In some ways, the conversation, just as an aside, has moved from communications director, which would be how you package the message, to marketing.
Yes, good point.
And so you should be aware of the trap, right? You're hiring for a communications director, and he's taking you down a billboard route. So look for the fact that if the marketing department wants to pursue print media, I can package a communication message for you to get there.
That's a way to table it and come back to what you're there to do.
Right.
You could say, I would refer to the marketing department, get their
Or-
feedback, see what pertinent goals they have, and then
Right.
move forward. That's communication.
That makes a lot of sense, and in many small companies, the marketing director might be wanting to preempt or sort of recruit any new hires into his own.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Or at
And
least
if the
have,
marketing
you know,
person's, if the marketing person's there, and you're talking about pursuing marketing stuff, they might, when you're gone, put you down because they don't want you to step into their role.
Right. And the CEO would have some preferences also in terms of the direction they want to go and
Yeah.
where they want to spend the money.
Yeah.
Okay, John, well, so let's wrap this up. What do you think you're going to be bringing to this company that why we should hire you?
Well, I'm a very energetic, vivacious person. I enjoy getting along with people. And I think as a communications director, especially with some managerial skills underneath my belt, I could bring a lot to the company. I could pitch a product if need be. I could have my employees pitch a product. I'd have no problem taking the business at hand, and using my personal skills in interpersonal, group, or organizational communication, as well as through technical skills in HTML and CSS coding. Basically, I lead a forefront that I can spread this information, this product, this service, pretty much to any realm of communication that you can think of, both technically and personally.
Do you have any questions for us?
Yes. As a YouTube company, it's hard to come up with a question. You don't even know what you do.
Well, but you can have some generic questions in advance,
Sure.
like, who would my team be? How would I be evaluated?
Or by working from home? Do I work
Yeah.
from your office?
I wouldn't go that direction so much because that's very close to, is this a nice place to work? Do I get a lot of vacation time?
Yeah.
It isn't exactly the same, but what tools are we using this software package?
And it shows that you know that stuff too.
Yes,
You
it
know the
does,
terminology.
and that you're interested in mission accomplishment, which is what we're interested in at this point.
You can maybe say, what software do you use to measure conversion rates? Because then it shows that you can do the job and you're thinking about what you bring to the table.
Okay, so let's take